Oh boy. Big.
Yeah. So for the first question, I just wanted to know, like, how were the concepts of the Portuguese colonies taught to you guys in like the public schools? If you remember it all, the primary
The
school.
concept of
Yeah, they kind of taught them as just like a part of the country, I would assume.
yes, yeah, it was like part of the country,
Yeah.
and they were governed by the same rules. They had to obey by the same laws, and they 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 are called colonies, but they belong to the same government.
Yeah, same liberals and everything.
Yes.
And then also in the public schools, there had to be displayed a picture of Salazar, a picture of Americo Thomas, and a cross, right? I read that, and my dad told me about that.
Yes, yeah, that was all the school rooms. They had to have that.
Yeah, so to recognize the
Yes,
authority.
the authority, and also the Catholic religion.
Yeah, one of the main focuses of Salazar's regime was to sort of enforce like a strict Catholic social doctrine. How did he go about this? How did you notice this in your daily life?
Well, basically, it was the only religion that was allowed, and like most of the people, they, at least on the countryside, then most of the people they were Catholics because the parents were Catholic. They would go to church and probably on the big cities were people that would probably read more books, more or something from outside of the country because inside was the censorship.
Yeah.
But they had a censor. There was more religions than the people they would live in the countryside.
I also read that even when there was the dictatorship in place, they still kind of staged elections to, even though the party that belonged to Caetano and Salazar always won.
Yeah, I think most of the elections they were just based on one party.
One party, just the officials.
One party official, and actually was sometimes they would allow to have another
Opposition.
names, on the ballots, but basically then they were doing at the election, the paper would just show one person, it would be Salazar or Marcelo Caetano. I know that when after Marcelo got into be a prime minister, at a certain point he allowed to show one name of one guy from the opposition called Humberto Delgado, and that's when the problems they start because he fought for his rights. He had many questions to the government, and that's when the people they start to see that most of the elections were a fraud.
Was everyone allowed to cast, say, a vote, like just?
I think you had to be over 18 years old, but basically everybody
Had the right to vote for one person. Yeah.
Yes, it was no choices. Or either it was not mandatory to vote, but whoever goes and vote had to vote for just one person. Was no even the white the blank ballots were not counted or something.
Yeah. Do you remember hearing about the Wiriamo massacre in Mozambique at the time?
No, actually, no, I heard that basically after the revolution, and because the government would try to keep those news out of the
censorship. Right?
Yes,
out of the media.
And the media would not. Most of the media would not be allowed to even to put that in the news also because most of the media, TV, newspapers, and so they were controlled by the government.
So when you heard about it, it was after
Was
after the censorship.
a few years, yeah.
Did you know you had to know quite a few people who went to fight in the colonies, or who served in the armed forces?
Oh yeah, most of the men that I from my town and for the towns around that I know, everybody went. And some of them they after they come back, and some of them they stayed back like after, and they got a job there, and had their lives there. They got married there, and so and then most of them they had to return after revolution, because when they give them they give the power to the countries, like to the colonies. People, most of them, they have to come back to Portugal.
And then, did you know anyone who was who fell like victim to the persecution of the dictatorship?
I'm sorry?
Anyone who was persecuted by the dictatorship for their feelings, or someone who like the secret police harassed? I know you told the story of when you were talking in the cafe, but do you know anyone who
was arrested?
Yes, and I know a couple of people that they were arrested. They suffer different. They have to go through a lot of things in the jail. Like they did so many torture to them, and I knew a couple of them at least. One was living in Porto, and another one was living in Viseu.
Viseu, so right next to.
Yeah, not too far from our town. So.
Yeah, there was no justice system for these people. Once you were taken in, you were.
Most of the times, you had to. They would keep you there until, or you had to assume that you did something wrong, or if not, they would. Most of the times, they would keep you for many years, and some people they just were freed after the revolution. Some of them they because some a lot of people they die in the jail because of that.
Yeah. Well, one crazy thing that I actually found was that I think RTP did a list of the greatest Portuguese. They called it Os Grandes Português, and Salazar finished first with 41% of the vote, and then the second place was the communist leader at the time.
Was probably Álvaro Cunhal, no?
Yeah. So I thought that was a crazy statistic. Like that.
Well, because even Salazar was a dictator, and so, but he always tried to put the country first, and actually, Portugal at that time was considered a rich country because the colonies and so on.
Yeah, before he came into power, there was a lot of strife, but ultimately,
basically that's why I think it was around 1933. That's when they called the new state, Novo Estado start. That's because there was a lot of problems in the country, and even with that, the country got into a different position. Was considered rich, but a lot of people living poorly. But it was considered a rich country.
Yeah. And then, Salazar and Caetano's policies towards emigration, like leaving the country, were very strict, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
you couldn't even a lot of men that, because they don't want to go to the colonies to serve for the armed forces. They tried to leave the country, but they had to do it without the police or the armed forces to know, because if not, they would be caught. And a lot of people they went to a different country like France, Germany, United Kingdom, just to get out of the armed force and the service in the colonies. But they couldn't come back to Portugal because they would be arrested.
Yeah, persecuted.
Go to jail for that. Yeah.
And then finally, in 1981, you immigrated to the United States. And I just kind of wanted to get a feeling of like how living here compared to living in Portugal after the dictatorship and before the dictatorship.
Well, it was totally different because the possibilities that you had of in this country, because after 1974 in Portugal, it was a lot of things changed, but still was a lot of people, they didn't have no employment, and they had to try to look for better ways of living, and those better ways of living would be going to a different country, and the United States was like a better place to live, to get a job, to raise your family, and even for opportunities, different opportunities for work, for studying, and so on. Big difference.
Okay, that's it. Thank you
You're
very
right.
much.